Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, okay, so we are on the air here. The Foxwoods Resorts Casino 301 at New Hampshire. The channel this afternoon on a Friday afternoon. Hopefully you guys are having a great day so far. We're going to get things started here. Did not qualify or practice for this race. We're going to start at the rear of the field. You can see we're starting 39th. We got one driver going to the rear of the field to start the race along with us. And sorry for a little bit of a late start to this one. Wanted to start at 4 o'clock, but I have a new addition to the series I'm working on, as well as I had a very important business to get done before this race. But I will let you guys know at the end of the live stream what that will be. So be on the lookout for that. I might have another video posting here in the future, maybe even by the end of the day perhaps, on a series I want to get started. But it's going to be a little bit of a longer process in the works, but hopefully you guys will enjoy the idea. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the race that we are going to have in store here for this one. So we're going to take this Liebman Ford Mustang and hopefully try to get it to the front. You see Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano on the front row in this one, with Harvick being on the pole. And he's had a stellar car in practice, so he's probably going to be the guy to beat here today. So at least we probably won't get ran over on the start. It's good to see. Probably not going to be as great on the short runs as usual. So here we go. Short track racing. Friday evening. Hopefully you guys are having a great day, and hopefully it gets better over the course of this broadcast, because the green flag is in the air. And we're underway at New Hampshire. Only 6 races before the playoffs after this one here today. As the playoff bubble obviously tightening up. Throwing it deep into turn 1 now is the 12. Look at that, already gaining up to the 25th position as everybody checked up. What a stellar first lap that we are having so far. Now throwing it into turns 3 and 4 deep as well. Look at that. Making moves. Here comes Paul Menard trying to make the same moves down to the inside of us. But we're going to beat him into turn 1. We're going to hold the inside. Now we're 3 wide on the bottom. Oh, a little contact with Kyle Larson, being extra aggressive on the start of the race, just trying to gain some spots. Now working on Michael McDowell for 16th. We're going to clear him. Paul Menard trying to follow as well. We're going to block him off of turn 4. He's trying to move through the field as well. But already to the 16th position. That didn't take long, but how far ahead will Kevin Harvick pull away in front of the field before anybody else tries to get back into the mix here? Tucked in right behind Clint Boyer right now, trying to gain some extra time on the racetrack. Kyle Larson kind of closing in from behind us. He's kind of caught this, not lead group, but back half of the top 10 / just outside of the top 10 group, I guess is what we're going to call it. To get a big run. Oh, Larson stuffing it in there 3 wide, and he's going to get around both me and LaJoy. Very aggressive was Kyle Larson there. A little payback of what we gave to him a little earlier in the run. Now trying to have ourselves a slide job to get around Corey LaJoy. We're going to get it done. Clint Boyer going to follow us on up through the field as well. So 75 laps in this opening stage of the race here. As far as fuel goes, the fuel is going to be enough to make it to the end, but how will the tire wear be? With this being a flat racetrack, of course, we're going to have a lot of wear on our right front tires over the course of this race today. That is no shocker to how things go here at New Hampshire. Really got to take care of the tires as much as we can over the course of these longer runs. Oh, into the back of the 2 of Keselowski. Look at how loose he got going into turn 1. How many times have we had issue with him as a teammate over the last couple races? Showline Gamer, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining. Got into the side of the 24 Byron there. We're going to have to let him go off of turn number 4. Get back to the inside again. So hard to pass here at New Hampshire. The best way to enter these corners when nobody's around you is to kind of, in a sense, diamond the corners off. If you want to start a little higher, then dive low and then finish up at the top. So it's not exactly like your typical diamonding off the corner where you start low, go high, and come back down to the bottom off the exit of the corner like you would at, like, let's say, at Darlington. You kind of want to start a little higher here, then go low, finish up at the top. That's, of course, if you can use all the racetrack like that over the course of the event. We got 66 laps to go here in stage number 1. Right behind Keselowski once again as we try to get around him, peeking to the inside now off of turn 2. I think we're going to have a shot going into 3 on him. And driving it in very deep here, getting to the inside of Eric Jones as well. Oh, Keselowski trying to force it up the middle. Small contact once again between the two of us. There's no room for Brad to get in there, but Jones can't quite stay alongside of him there. You see how far ahead Kevin Harvick's pulling away. Really, the top 3 in general are pulling quite a ways ahead from everybody else, but Harvick is just seemingly in a league of his own right now, at least until they get into lap traffic. So we finally cleared Jones off of turn number 4. We're going to get around Truex in turns 3 and 4 as well. That'll move us up to 10th, right behind the rookie Tyler Reddick in 9th. Running for Richard Childress Racing. First full-time season in the Cup Series. He ran 2 races last season in the Daytona 500 in Kansas and actually finished inside the top 10 in that Kansas race in his second career start. So a lot of promise coming out of him. Of course, back-to-back Xfinity Series champion as well. He's had some good runs over the course of the early going of the year. And now trying to stretch it here towards the end of the regular season and maybe have a shot to compete for a win before the end of the regular season and maybe steal a playoff spot. But with no more super speedway tracks left, that's pretty much going to be his only chance of trying to make it into the postseason. Denny Hamlin, another driver who's won here in the past at New Hampshire, almost got the win on Harvick last season. A great finish between Harvick and Hamlin last year at New Hampshire. Hamlin tried to bump and run on him, and Harvick tried to keep him from doing it back again in turns 3 and 4. Kind of pushed him up near the wall coming out of turn 4, and it was a pretty great battle for the closing laps in that race. In our full Xfinity Series race as well, in our last Xfinity Series season, we finished second here on a photo finish with Jeffrey Earnhardt. And that was the lone race that Earnhardt had won to make it into the Xfinity Series playoffs, so that's pretty great of itself. Harvick's already won this season, as have I, of course. With the 5 different winners on the year, we're 2 of them. Who's to say we won't try to compete for more playoff points here today, of course, if at all possible. So we're up to 7th place. Harvick has just caught lap traffic now for the first time here today as we move into 6th, passing Eric Almirola. We're only on lap 17 when he has caught the lap traffic to the turns 1 and 2 on this lap. Definitely gaining some ground on these guys ahead of us. Remember though, we started at the rear of the field. We've definitely got a quick car. It'll take about 15 laps or so in the short run to get going, but another thing is too, again, how will the tire wear be? These short tracks in length here, this is only 1 mile as we cleared Kurt Busch for 5th off of turn 2. With this being a short track basically, you don't want to have to pit that extra time, and if everybody can make it on fuel to the end of stage 1, then obviously they're not going to want to pit. We're almost a third of the way through the stage. Tire wear is looking alright on the right front for right now, but who's to say it's not going to get worse as the run carries on. We're about to catch our first lap car of the run here on Jamie McMurray going into 3 and 4. He kind of slowed Bowman down quite a bit. He didn't slow us down at all. We got around McMurray pretty easily. So we close into the back bumper of the 88. Kyle Busch currently in 3rd. All the way to the bottom. On the apron, just trying to get around him. Did not work that time. So he got a little bit better corner exit, of course. Beat us back to the gas, and now we're going to try to get him again through 3 and 4. Brendan gone in both of our ways. Look at that as we're going to try to split gone. We went to the bottom, Bowman went to the top, but we're going to clear both of them off of turn 4. Blaney up to 4th. With Kyle Busch in 3rd place, Joey Logano in 2nd, and Harvick just pulling away from the field. But we got about 2.5 seconds of time to catch on Kyle Busch, even for 3rd place, and then Logano 3 seconds ahead of where we're at right now. We got a ways in front of that before we even catch Harvick. Again, Harvick in a league of his own here. If he keeps his car clean, he's going to be the guy that we're probably going to have to beat in this race. Of course, he had the track position with qualifying on the pole too, so that definitely helps, of course. Having that clean air for the first 17 laps before lap traffic was any sort of a factor in this one. Feels like Harvick's light years ahead of us. He's got a 5-second lead still. Definitely think we would already be in 2nd right now if we had qualified for this race, but we definitely still wouldn't be leading. I can almost guarantee it. Gonna clear Michael McDowell there as well as Kyle Busch through turns 3 and 4. Now we look to the inside of Ty Dillon down the front straightaway. Ooh, man, tip just pulled down right in front of us. That was bad timing for that to happen right on the exit of the corner too when we're trying to get back up to speed for the straightaway. Now looking to the outside of Logano for 2nd, trying to get the drive off of turn number 2. We've got the run down the back straightaway to the inside. As well to the inside of the lap car of Ryan Preece. Blaney up to 2nd, passing his other Penske Racing teammate here in this one. Harvick's led every lap to this point here so far in stage number 1, but I think these first two stages are going to fly by in this race. If you consider the 400-mile races on the mile-and-a-half racetracks, the laps are 80 and 80 in the first two stages. And in this one, it's 75 and 75, so it's 5 laps shorter in length, and it's a half as far as the laps go, and then as far as the actual track itself being a half mile shorter in length, these, no doubt about it, these first two stages are going to fly by. So that last lap we ran was actually our best lap despite having 28 laps on our tires at 29.178. That compares about a tenth and a half of a second off or so from our fastest lap ever at New Hampshire of 29.024, but that will definitely be big. We can get fresher tires in open air throughout the course of this one. Definitely running Harvick down, finally brought him to within a second and a half of the lead. For the most part, we're still taking care of those right front tires despite running the car as hard as we can right now. Not quite halfway through the stage, but we're not quite halfway on the tire wear as far as the right front is concerned as of this point. Big run on Harvick going into turn 3. He's caught right behind the lap car of Corey LaJoie, who's faded back quite a bit. Remember, he was back at 14th when we had got around him earlier. He's now back to 23rd, 1 lap down. We're just going to have to follow Harvick through these lap cars for now. But we are within a couple car lengths of the race lead. Definitely the closest that we have been all race long to this point. Looking for the lead to the inside into turn 3. Driving it in deep. Trying to hold the line. Can we clear Harvick off of turn 4? No, we cannot. And now a little bit of contact off of turn number 4. Harvick leads the lap at the line, but can't jump down in front of us to get to the inside of William Byron. 3 wide off the exit of 2 now with McMurray and Austin Dillon there. It's going to cost us a little bit of time also, as well as Harvick, who tries to get around the same lap cars that we just got around, but now we're pulling them a little bit. Harvick still stuck behind McMurray in the 40 as we lead our first lap of the race on lap 33 here today. Oh boy. Really loose all of a sudden there through turns 1 and 2. Car's definitely going to loosen up as the run goes on. There's no doubt about it. But again, loose is fast if we can control it. So yeah, 75, 75, and 151 will be the laps scheduled for the distance here throughout the course of these stages in this race. Trying to put Clint Boyer lap down now off of turn 2. Looking to his inside, and we're going to get around him. So now only 16 cars on the lead lap in the early going of the race. Very hard to get really spread out on a 1 mile track like this. For the most part, we're going to be dealing with traffic. Almost throughout the entirety of the run, because remember when Harvick caught the lap traffic, he was only on lap 17, so it did not take him long at all to get to the back of the first lap cars in this race. We've not had a caution yet early on. So we have now opened up about a 5-second lead on the 4. Oh boy, loose off of turn 2, squeezing up the middle between Joey Gase and Daniel Hemrick, beating him into turn 3. It worked out perfectly. Got a little sketchy for a moment off of turn 2. That is for sure. So cross flags, we are halfway through stage 1. And as we're halfway through the opening stage, the right front tire's at 57% tire wear. So again, we are pacing well to not have to pit in this first stage. Remember, we're going to be about 6 laps or so to the good on fuel in this stage as well. So we shouldn't have to pit, but I would assume if a caution came out, you're probably going to see guys hit pit road. It's about 35 to 40 laps even. Fresher tires, obviously huge distance or a huge advantage anywhere you would go, but at New Hampshire, it's a definite must to take tires at that point. It'd be different if you had a shootout for a couple laps maybe, but even then that'd be very, very difficult to hang on. Even though it would only be, let's say, like a mile or 2, you would have to hold on. Martin Truex Jr., Eric Jones, and Tyler Reddick are the next 3 lap cars that are currently on the lead lap that we have to catch. And Truex is right in front of us, 3 wide into turn 3, trying to quickly get around him. And we're going to clear him off the exit of turn 4. Moving on up. Take a look at the running order right now. Of course, Ryan Blaney in the race lead, Kevin Harvick second, Joey Logano third, Kyle Busch currently in 4th, and Alex Bowman in 5th. And there are now 12 drivers on the lead lap as we have just put Eric Jones a lap down this lap. Quite a big cluster of lap cars coming up, probably in about another 3 to 5 laps or so. We got Tyler Reddick right in front of us, but got a huge pack of slower cars coming up shortly after Reddick. Big dive off of turn 2, trying to get to the inside of the 31. Definitely going to get around him easily in 3 and 4. And Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Larson just in front of us here. Johnson's already 1 lap down in 26th, though. He's not having a good day at all here. He was right on the bubble. He was on the outside looking in, coming into this race. In the chases, he was only 7 points out from the 16 spot. So we're 3 wide down the backstretch. But Jimmy not having a good day at New Hampshire. Track he has won at in the past. "31 laps to go, stage 1. Again, things are looking good so far. Oh boy, really loose getting into turn 3. That got a little hairy. Trying to brake hard to get around a few of those lap cars before we got into the corner. LC Gaming, yes, I am using the controller for the race here today. I want to use it for Pocono or not tomorrow. Still undecided, but if we don't use it then, we will definitely use it. Well, I should say no matter what we use for tomorrow's race at Pocono, I'm definitely going to use the steering wheel when we go to Watkins Glen on Sunday. So we got a dog barking in the background here. Not sure what the issue is there, but Hopefully it doesn't continue so I don't have to pause this. Alright. 28 laps to go. A lot of guys are going a lap down here. I highly doubt we're going to catch Kevin Harvick. We still have more than a half a track to catch him, but he had such a big advantage on a lot of these guys that were putting a lap down right now. Pretty amazing how big of a lead we were able to get about halfway through this stage. And not only that, but even all these guys were putting a lap down right now. We're not really burning that right front tire up too much. We're not really having to lock the brakes, really getting into the corner. We're kind of easing in on the brakes. Not taking the corners too hot. Really taking care of that right front. Car's pretty stable for the most part too. We haven't really had to I mean, we've had a couple moments where it got a little loose, but for the most part, car is sticking pretty well in the corners. Really able to do whatever we want with it up to this point. Alright, so we have a 16-second advantage here. Still 25 laps to go. Again, we're going to win the stage unless a caution comes out, throws a wrench in the strategy here to the end of this one. And obviously with getting this close to the end of the stage, and the closer we get to the end, if a caution comes out, if you do pit before the end of the stage, would you be able to go all the way to the end of stage 2 without having to pit again? Or do you play it safe and just pit anyway? So it's definitely going to split the strategy up just a little bit. Because again, as far as the fuel goes, you're about 6 laps to the good to the end of this stage from the very start of the race. So it's likely make it for the final stage to be a one-stop race in those final 151 laps. Alex Bowman now just in front of us. He's about to go a lap down any second here. It's the cakewalk on the field early on here. Did not expect this coming into this one, that is for sure. You can almost arguably say this is one of the better cars we have brought to the racetrack all season. Kansas was definitely probably one of our better cars so far. Even Sonoma was pretty good, although we still had cars that would kind of hang around with us at times, like Kevin Harvick and Matt DiBenedetto throughout the course of the race. But we did lead quite a bit of the percentage of laps. I think we led all but 40 laps in the race. We led like 70 of the 110 laps. Have I ever ran out of fuel or popped a tire? Yes, definitely. I usually try to take good management so that doesn't happen, but obviously, you know, if you try to have to stretch it, it comes down to that. There was a race in my truck series season. We were at Atlanta, and I was going to be close on tires, right? And I had taken the lead with like 5 laps left or so. Figured, okay, I got to push it, got to get to the lead, and then I'm going to coast it. We blew a right front tire with like 2 laps to go. We were running around on a blown right front for the final 2 laps of the race. And we just got passed coming out of turn 4 by Stuart Friesen, who won the race right at the finish. It was probably one of the crazier finishes I can remember having on this game, but Of course, that was another full race live stream. So, I mean, to run the full race and have it come down to that, just so crazy. As far as the Cup Series goes, I can't remember quite having that close of a fuel mileage race. We've definitely had fuel mileage races, and we have been close on tire wear to the end of the race, but I don't think we've had a blowout right at the finish. At least not yet. So we have our first caution of the race. Only 3 drivers on the lead lap. Kevin Harvick and Logano. Kyle Busch will get the free pass here. And again, that's going to jumble the strategy up here. We're definitely going to have to hit pit road. We'll take 3/4 of a tank of fuel. Plenty to fill it up. Now you're sounding like Lightning McQueen racing. You know, yeah. I mean, see, the thing is, we took tires under the pit stop. It's just we were burning our tires up quite a bit at Atlanta. And we were leading the race. I really didn't want to bring it in and cost myself, you know, finishing like outside of the top 20. We had a good race car, but that was a situation we were in. So here we go, to the green. Caution came out late here in stage 1, so we're going to have a fight and a pretty good finish, if I do say so myself. 14 laps to go in stage number 1. We're going to do whatever it takes to get the playoff point, of course. Logano and Harvick are side by side for second right behind us. And of course, Kyle Busch had to restart at the rear of the field. Harvick, though, of all these guys behind us, is definitely going to be the one to beat. Holding them off for the first lap. I don't know how long this is going to be able to go on for, but we're going to do our best. It takes about 15 laps for us to really start to become faster than everybody else in the stage. And Harvick in second all by himself now as he got around Logano off of turn 4 that last lap. Just trying to survive and win stage number 1 here. We're doing a good job so far. Keeping our distance. Harvick is going to be all over us, though, for these remaining laps in stage 1. I can guarantee it. Unless he gets around us beforehand. He's definitely going to put the pressure on us. Oh, we slipped up a little bit there, but we were able to beat him back to the gas enough to stay in front of him. That's all we really need. I mean, one of these times he might try to drive it in deeper on us to try and get to us, but if we're a full car out ahead or more, we can definitely diamond these corners off. He gained on us through 3 and 4 that time. It's a lot closer to our back bumper now. 11 laps to go in stage 1. Blocking him to the inside. He is there. And here comes Kevin Harvick, side by side for the lead off of turn 2. Looks like we got just a little bit better of a drive off as we throw it in deep into turn 3 to beat him to the bottom of the racetrack. And so far, so good, doing everything we can to block off the 4. 10 to go. Kurt Busch getting in the mix as well, but he's a lap down. I'll be willing to let him go if we have to. Slipped up again, just a little bit. Harvick is... Can't get the run off the exit of the corner that time. Again, if we had a lot more laps to go, I'd be more than willing to let Harvick go and just run him down later, but we don't have that choice this late in the stage. Harvick's already locked into the playoffs, as are we. We're strictly fighting for that playoff point. We're doing a good job so far. We really haven't missed our marks yet. As Harvick looks to the inside, another block. Down the backstretch and now going into turn 3. Harvick closes in, almost gave us the boot that time as Logano about ran into the back of Harvick because of how much he had to check up because of me slowing it down in the corners. So we pull him a little bit going into 1. So all of the lanes possible there to keep the car rolling. Still just a couple car lengths ahead. It goes to show how much the clean air is a big factor here at New Hampshire, as it is on most of these flatter racetracks. It's so difficult to pass, but how patient will Harvick be before he tries to give us the boot? in the bump and run to get the stage win. He's raced us clean so far. I can thank him for that as we pull him a little bit off of turn 2 again. I'm surprised we've held up this good on the short run, I'm not going to lie. Harvick trying to pull away slightly here from Logano as well. It seems like 6 to go. Just ran our fastest lap at New Hampshire ever, a 29.014 that last lap. Blistering fast out in front in the clean air right now. Just amazing. Five to go. Not over yet though. If he stays within a second here, he could still have a chance. We're not going to catch lap traffic in this stage though, so that's a good sign. At least for us. So now the interesting dilemma is going to be, well, you see guys try to stay out at the start of the next stage, knowing that they might be able to make it on fuel. Wow, I can't believe it. We're pulling away from Harvick off of turn 2. Stellar job staying in front here. Again, just over 1 second lead at the line. 4 laps to go. Sorry, 3 laps to go in stage 1. They battle for the free pass position back there. Kurt Busch still has, oh, a little brush off the wall off of turn 2. That'll cost us a little bit of time. But Kurt Busch in the free pass position right now on Alex Bowman. 2.5 lead, 2 to go. So there's the lap cars up ahead again. We're not going to have to worry about them in this stage. We'll be coming to the white flag in stage 1 here. Good performance so far. We'll see if Harvick will make any adjustments at the stage break to try and get us. Knowing that we were able to stay in front of him. We went a little high into 1 there, but we've got a big enough lead here. We can take our time into turns 3 and 4 if we really wanted to, but again, we're just going to keep the momentum rolling here. All's good. And off of turn 4 for the final time in stage 1, Ryan Blaney will get another stage win on the season. 2-second win over Kevin Harvick. That is how we're going to start things off here in this one. First 75 laps in the books. Yeah, it looks like everybody's going to hit pit road anyway here at the end of the stage. As will we. Kurt Busch does get the free pass there. Your top 10 looks like that on the leaderboard. Ryan Blaney in first, Kevin Harvick second, Joey Logano third, Kyle Busch fourth, Kurt Busch fifth, Alex Bowman sixth, Brad Keselowski in seventh, Kyle Larson eighth, Denny Hamlin ninth, and Eric Jones rounds out the top 10 in stage 1. Eric Almirola and Suarez just missing out on stage points there. Could Larson still be picked up by another racing team? Could. Do you think anyone would? I think, honestly, I think he would have still been suspended, obviously, for the first however many races when he came back. And obviously he's still going to be suspended as of right now. And if he goes through NASCAR's like Road to Recovery program or whatever the title that is, I guess, that they have for it, I think he would have been able to come back to Chip Ganassi right away. But I think the main reason they did fire him is because he didn't have sponsors. His main sponsors left him. Even his manufacturer sponsor, Chevrolet, left him. And I think that point on, it left him in the water. It gave Ganassi no other choice. They need sponsorship and funding for that team, especially while somebody else is in the car. I think the better question would probably be who's going to fill in his shoes. We know Ross Chastain's definitely going to be one of the options. Obviously, he is filling in for Ryan Newman right now, but because of this hiatus that NASCAR is on with the coronavirus currently, when we come back, who's to say that Ryan Newman will be back for, say, the Coke 600, if that's the first race NASCAR goes back to, which they're shaping up to be. And if he's not, then Chastain's probably still going to fill the shoes and fill the void for the 6th. And at that point, I really don't know who's going to fill in. Oh, late block there on Harvick. Going into turn 3. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the situation. I think he will get picked up. Heck, I mean, Ganassi, I think if Ganassi didn't have Ross Chastain driving for him previously in the Xfinity Series, I think there's a very good chance that Larson would have been back to Ganassi, quite honestly. I don't think they're going to have a third car. Unless he does go back to Ganassi when Kurt Busch decides to retire. I mean, that's a very good possibility as well. I think the relationship there is still strong. It just wasn't strong enough for the issues that had come recently. Oh, Harvick leads the lap by inches at the line there as we have a great battle to start stage 2. Harvick might have made the adjustments needed to try and get by us, and Kyle Busch is sitting right behind us as well in third, in front of Joey Logano. So Kevin Harvick led the last lap. Now we'll try to get him back. Looking to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Can't get him there. Sorry, 3 and 4 rather. So just a lone caution in this stage so far. Can't quite get around Kevin Harvick. We're working on him though. We keep getting to the inside, but Harvick's definitely getting a lot better of a run off the exit as he did there, and that's going to cost us because now here comes Kyle Busch looking for second. He tries to fill the void as now we go to the inside of Harvick again while trying to block off the 18 most importantly. And Logano now trying to go to the outside of Kyle Busch for second behind, or for third right behind us. As Harvick pulls us a little bit down the backstretch. We try to run him right back down again. Got 65 to go. Plenty of time here in stage number 2. Not the first stage win of the race. Harvick really blocking us to the inside that time. It beats us back to the gas in the process off of turn 4 also. It's a great corner there by Kevin. And we're in a similar situation as what we were at the end of stage 1, only I'm in second and Harvick's in the lead. Where we're just so equal with each other, even on the short runs, that we can get to and get to the side of him, but we can't quite get in front of him to get that clean air, hold the track position, and make it harder. Or I should say, it just makes it harder on the driver in second, trying to pass the car in the lead. And we saw Logano working on Kyle Busch for a couple laps too, and he couldn't even get around him for third. Just got to keep driving it in the corners, hoping it sticks and you can beat him back to the gas one of these times, or at least stay alongside of him to get him in the next corner. We just have not been able to do that yet. Definitely tell we're close. Harvick's not pulling away from us at all, that's for sure. Pulls us a little bit off of turn 2 there, and it's probably going to hurt our chances of getting him again. But even us battling for the lead as hard as we are right now, and this is a pretty great battle at that, But Kyle Busch isn't really closing the gap on us a ton right now. Goes to show how fast Logano and Kyle Busch really are, but for me and Harvick using our tires up right now, trying to battle for the lead with each other. So come the longer run, will Kyle Busch and Logano maybe have a shot. Another deep dive into turns 3 and 4. Going to slide in front of the 4 of Harvick, but here he comes on the crossover. Tight off the exit of 4. Harvick back to the inside now, and we're on the outside. Side draft down the front stretch. Harvick leads the lap at the line, but now he's got the advantage on the bottom, giving us the top, and look at how equal we are. Harvick just able to clear us off of turn 2 in a double crossover move now for Blaney. Back to the bottom again into 3. Trying to clear the 4 car off the exit of 4, we will. Harvick looking back to the inside again. He can't do it. Blaney leads the lap at the line. We have another lead change. Here comes Harvick. Diving it back to the inside again. Barely blocking him off the exit of 2. He had to check up big time. And that's going to cost him any shot of getting us in turn 3. Now that we're back in the clean air, we can kind of just run our own lap times. Just enough spacing to really hit our marks as best as we can right now. Again, 5 drivers on the lead lap here to start stage 2. We're within the first 15 laps of stage 2. And just like stage 1, everybody will be able to make it on fuel. Tires should not be an issue, but if we get a caution, everybody will likely hit pit road. So our fastest lap of the race so far is a 28.989, and that was somewhere during the course of this early run in stage 2. And that is the first time I have ever ran a 28-second lap time here at New Hampshire in the Cup Series, so that's pretty special. Hey Joshua, thanks for joining in on this one. No problem for being late. Better late than never. Wow, I went to the outside to get around Brendan Gaughan and Ryan Truex there. Took them 3 wide. Is now that the rest of the leaders behind us are in lap traffic too. We got through the lap traffic a lot better than everybody else in stage 1. That happens again here in stage 2. I think we're going to be looking at something very special for ourselves and trying to pull away, as we have about a 1.5 second lead or so on Harvick. We did win stage 1. We had to battle Harvick at the end there. We had a 14-lap dash to the finish after the lone caution of the race so far. So therefore, that also does show longest green flag run we have had to this point is 58 laps to start the race. Shell Dynasty 48, how's it going? Glad you could make it here this evening as well. Big run off the exit of turn 4 again. Having to work around the outside to get around these lap cars here in this stage. It's almost seemingly easier than what it is to get around them on the bottom. A little bit more grip. If you can clear them in the center of the corner, you could still dive to the bottom on the exit off. It's still somewhat diamond the corners off, as I like to do at New Hampshire. past Ty Dillon now around the top side of the track too. Again, that goes to show how well the handling is on this race car. I mean, we've been driving it into the corners very, very deep, able to hold the corner, whether we are on the top, middle, or bottom grooves of the lanes shown, to make the passes around the lap traffic. And at the same time, in the process of doing all that, we haven't been burning our tires off at all either, because we're not having to jam the brakes getting into the corners even though we're diving in late. Still able to ease into it. And obviously I've shown here because we were able to stick with the leaders even on the short run. During two shorter runs that we've seen ourselves at the front of the field. Yeah, we definitely have a very fast car in this one. It's nice to see that we can compete with them on the short runs as well as slowly pull away on the long runs. Just good all the way around. In case we get a late race dash or late dash at the end of the stage like we did in stage 1, we could hold our own and still get the stage win. So again, for those of you who have joined so far here tonight, our next full race live stream is coming your way tomorrow, and it will be a morning stream, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific, and 9 a.m. Central, as we go to Pocono for the second Pocono race of the season. Had a pretty good race at Pocono the first time around on the season. We kind of brought the best out of that racetrack, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that one as well. Oh boy. Deep dive to get underneath William Byron there going into turn 3. But again, look, I mean, we were able to get it to stick without really having to overly use the brakes. Yeah, stage 1 had a long green flag run to start. We went 58 laps before we had the first and only caution of the race so far. And that's why when we had gotten the lead, we were able to kind of pull away from everybody else on the longer run, and that's why there's only 5 drivers on the lead lap currently, because by the time the caution came out, there were actually only 3 drivers on the lead lap. Kyle Busch had gotten the free pass after the caution, and then Kurt Busch got the free pass at the end of the last stage. So that is why we stand with 5 cars on the lead lap currently. So all these drivers we are passing right now are going at least 2 laps down, if not more. And only 1 driver out of the race, and that was the driver that brought out the first caution. Can't tell exactly who it was. I haven't even checked yet. I want to say it was Bubba Wallace. It kind of looked like his car on pit road right now, but could be wrong. So I do have a special announcement at the end of this video, as I stated before, or I should say when I first started the stream, before I jumped into this race, on a new series I kind of wanted to start. Again, all I'm going to specify for right now is that it'll probably take me a little bit to edit the videos so I can have some sort of professionalism involved in it. But I think it's going to help a lot of newer viewers out that have missed previous full race live streams, as far as yeah, I'm not going to get too far into detail, but it'll help for newer viewers. So instead of wanting to go back to watch the full race, they can watch these like recap videos in a sense. But more on that coming up right after the race, as we have our second caution of the event now. Not sure who this is on. Kurt Busch is not. Oh, there's a pileup, and it is Kurt Busch. Wow. Kurt Busch. Daniel Suarez looked like he was involved in it. Tyler Reddick, he's got heavy damage. Looks like David Reagan had some damage as well. So a huge pileup off of turn 2 to bring out our second caution of the race. Brad Keselowski will get the free pass. And I'm afraid that might have just knocked Kurt Busch out of the race because he is not pitting and he is up in smoke still, it looks like. No, that's Suarez up in smoke, but Kurt has heavy damage. Yeah, Kurt's staying out. That's really weird. He's probably going to stall on the restart. So here we go. Green flag back in the air. Oh man, no, we stalled out on the start. So, oh man. Blaney spins the tires, nowhere to go. Harvick quickly looking for the lead into turn 1 on Kurt Busch, who is on the older tires. I'm surprised Kurt took off better than us as we try to squeeze to the outside of him now down the backstretch. Very unique strategy from Kurt, to say the least. He can make it on field at the end of the stage though, but he's got a lot of damage after that wreck. I'm very surprised he's still out there. Now we're going to try to run down Harvick as best as we possibly can, and as shown before, it's so hard to pass the race leader. Well, we're going to do our best. Try not to let him get away too much. Joey Logano's in third with Kyle Busch in fourth. About a second back from where we're at right now. Harvick's not really pulling away from us too much. Again, it just shows how equal the two of us are on the short runs. He got out to almost a 1 second lead, or about a 1 second lead, and he's stayed right around that kind of a lead advantage. Still do have enough laps to try and catch him before the end of stage 1, or stage 2 rather. That's all right. Yeah, still about a second back from Harvick. Not really pulling away from Joey Logano or Kyle Busch either. They're staying within a couple car lengths of where I'm at right now. We'll see here. Just got to keep doing what we're doing. Oh boy. I didn't think I was going to get the car loaded up into turn 1 at all that time, but we still did. Started higher and finished even lower. Closing in on Kevin Harvick finally as we're about a half second back of the race lead. Not quite at that climax before their cars start to drop off in speed compared to ours. We're just putting together that great of laps here the last few laps. Like that last one, 29.061, one of the faster laps we have run so far today. And out of the back bumper of Harvick. Looks like we still got at least a couple more laps before we get into lap traffic. Hopefully we can get around Harvick before then. Going into turn 1, side by side for the lead. Down to the bottom. The battle is on. Couldn't get him that time. Harvick tries to slip away down the backstretch and into 3. Oh, we got a car up in smoke trying to get onto pit road. It's Keselowski. Contact now between me and Harvick. Trying to squeeze to the outside of Brad. He was in the way. Somehow no caution and we stay green. Oh, and car around in the back. It looked like Kyle Busch overran him. Caution is out for the 3rd time in this race. Hey, Ravish Desires. Thanks for joining the live stream here. So we got a lot of drivers that did not pit under the previous caution, even such that are lap down pitting now. We're going to pit also. Stay on the same strategy as Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch, who are hitting pit road. Busch went around for a, Kyle Busch that is, went around for a spin back there. I think he either just tried to avoid and missed the 2 who missed pit road, or he got into the back of him. Caution came out way later than it should have, though. And the green flag is back in the air again as we have 25 laps left in stage 1. Down to the inside, 3 wide for the lead. Kurt Busch trying to follow up now. Kurt and Kyle Busch both on pressured tires, of course. And here we go. It's quickly. All 3 of us are now running 1 through 3 on the track. Very surprised Logano and Harvick stayed out of the pits. Especially Harvick with being in the race lead. So now we'll get to see if the 1 and 18 can have anything for us on the short runs. Got the clean air advantage right now, barely keeping it off the wall off of turn 2. But Kurt Busch had a very, very good exit. And now Kyle looking to his inside. It's the Busch brothers battle it out for second. Right behind us within a couple car lengths as Kyle could not get around Kurt that time. He'll try it again in 1 and 2. That time he's got the advantage. Still cannot clear him though down the back straightaway. Busch. Sorry, Kyle Busch, that is. Gotta be more specific now that they're running in 2nd and 3rd. Racing with each other. Kyle Busch up to 2nd place. Looking to gain on us now for the race lead. Last couple laps we've been very, very tight getting out of turn 2. I think we're just getting back into the gas a little too soon because we haven't had that issue before. We really don't have any damage on the car. Haven't had to repair any yet today either. So 21 laps to go in stage 2. Entering the corners a little bit later, trying to get a little bit better drive off. It's working for now. Got to be careful though so the 18 can't get under us on the entrance to these corners. Ran a little bit lower line through turns 1 and 2 there, and that didn't seem to work out as well because Kyle Busch gains just a little bit more ground on us going into turn 3. Busch showing new speed in the car. We have not seen out of him as we had to check out of the gas off before. He is there trying to block him down the front straightaway. And now Kurt Busch looking to get to his inside again. Couldn't get there. Top 3 under a blanket within a half second of each other. Oh, back into the gas too soon again off of 4, and there goes Kyle Busch. So we try to side draft him now down the front stretch, but he clears us going into turn 1. Gets on the brakes early, trying to block contact now. That slowed us up a ton, and now we've got some damage on the front bumper. Almost kind of like a brake check. I didn't think he was going to block us that low to the inside, and we'll try to run him back down now. Not heavy damage on the front bumper, but just enough there. Cause a little bit of issues as he tries to pull away. So we'll alternate now through the cameras for the first time here today. Trying to run the 18 down at the same time, trying to keep Kurt Busch in the 1 right behind us. Ravish Desires, thanks for the feedback, man. Glad you've been watching the videos as of late. Big run on Kyle Busch through 1 and 2 as we pulled away from Kurt quite a bit there. Going for the lead into turn 3. Kyle's led his only 2 laps of the race so far as we can't quite clear him yet. Looking to the inside. Kyle Busch going to hold on at least for now. Pinching us down to the bottom, not giving us a lot of room. Right around the yellow line. Beats us back to the gas and pulls away again off of turn 2. As Kurt tries to reel us back in now that we're battling for the lead a little bit more than we were before. Kyle running the corners a little bit lower, almost seemingly trying to make us pass him around the outside. Gonna enter a little higher, getting back into the gas sooner. That might have helped us. Really loose, trying to drive the car off of turn 2. Back to the inside again, into 3, driving it in really deep. Up the track we go. Contact. Wasn't trying to do that. Back to the 18 again, more contact. So we'll have to duck in behind him before we get into turn 1. Trying to beat him into the corner. What a battle for the lead late in stage 2. Remember, Kurt Busch in the last race in Kentucky yesterday narrowly won stage 1 over us by inches. Can he maybe steal the win here once again? Again, just showing so hard to pass here, especially on the race leader in the clean air. But Kyle Busch not going to have clean air much longer. So we are closing in on lap traffic, and we'll likely catch him here by the end of the lap. Everybody slip sliding around. Gonna enter in a little higher once again. In case Busch gets held right behind the 62, it's gonna work. Tight coming off the corner, we get the car to turn. Busch on the inside now, 3 wide behind us as Kurt tries to sneak to the outside of the 18. Blaney back out in front again with 11 to go in stage number 2. Now to the inside of the 96. In the midst of the lap traffic, trying to pull away from the Busch brothers to the end of stage number 2. End of stage number 2. Ooh, very tight here. 3 wide on the outside, trying to hold the line. Kyle Busch gaining a ton because of that. He's coming back again. Struggling to get around Landon Castle now. Kurt Busch trying to do the same move we did, 3 wide to the top. Definitely getting racier here in stage 2 compared to most of stage 1. Pretty much since that first caution of the race. We have had some pretty great battles for the lead with various drivers. Huge checkup here of lap cars coming up too. We are pulling away slightly, about a 2.5 second lead. Almost sliding into the wall again. Hopefully this doesn't hurt us too much. Kyle Busch has finally gotten around the lap cars back there. He's 3 seconds off the lead with 6 to go, with very heavy lap traffic coming up in the next lap to lap and a half. Maybe, no, probably even shorter. We're going to catch him here in 3 and 4. We just passed Michael McDowell now. Oh, we got a car blowing up. There is smoke. Caution. Right at the end of the stage, somebody was blowing up in front of this pack. It looked like it might be Joey Gase. I'm not totally sure on that. But caution is out. And we are only going to have a handful of laps, probably even less, left in this stage. Doesn't look like anybody's going to hit pit road, but this could make things interesting. Here we go. Bowman gets the free pass. Green flag back in the air. Here we go. The finish of stage number 2. 2 laps to go. Pulling up in front of Kyle Busch. Trying to beat everybody into turn 1. Getting back to the gas pretty easily there. We're pulling Kyle Busch off the first corners. Nobody on the lead lap pit during that entire caution. And Kurt now trying to get underneath the 18 off of turn number 4. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go in stage number 2. And as they battle it out for second, that's going to allow us to pull away a little more. Half a mile to go in stage number 2. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Just like in stage 1, Ryan Blaney will get another stage win, as it's going to be a photo finish for second behind us between Kurt and Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch will edge his brother out by inches at the line for second at the end of stage number 2. All right. Kyle Larson will get the free pass here to start the final stage, leaving 8 drivers on the lead lap. Looks like Chase Elliott's going to take the free pass here under this yellow. He might have pit at the end of the last stage so he could take the wave around here, so that's a pretty good idea. Why not? Only got 2 extra lap on your tires. We'll repair damage here on pit road this time. We got a little bit on the front bumper. Lost 2 spots on pit road, but we'll see if we can get them back. Third and final stage about to begin here at New Hampshire. The green flag is in the air. Here we go. Already 3 wide to the bottom, looking for the lead into turn 1. 148 laps to decide the winner of the race. Look at Logano, our teammate right behind us. Joey trying to go for the lead. He moves us. Off of turn number 2, Logano from 5th to 1st in 1 corner. Just followed us underneath the Busch brothers going into turn 1. It works out for him. He's got the lead, at least for now, and we are stuck on the outside. He moved his teammate out of the way, of all things. Deep dive, though, trying to get underneath the 18 now. kind of holding up the guys behind us. And Alex Bowman in the picture now, trying to get around Harvick for fourth. Ooh, Kyle late dive to the bottom in the middle of the corner. Now looking to the inside of Logano off the exit. He might try it going into turn one. Nope, he backs up and pulls in behind him. Busch again looking to the inside of Logano. Just cannot get the run off the exit of the corner he needs. Oh man. Glad Busch went a lot lower on the corner entry than we did. And now Harvick, because we went higher, is going to try to go for third now. Look at the top four all within each other here. Diving it into the corner. Trying to get back at Joey for the lead. 3 wide now for second. Harvick's in the mix. Busch is still there. Contact between the 12 and 18. And Harvick moves up to second. And now he's going to try to get around Logano for the lead. Harvick to the inside. Kurt Busch now trying to get underneath of Kyle for fourth place. Oh, a little bump to the back of Harvick. And that actually helps him out somehow. So he gets to the inside of the 22. So we try to block everybody off for third on back. Kevin Harvick to the lead at New Hampshire once again. It's been a while, but finally able to get there. Owen's got a pretty fast car. He's still holding around back there towards the back of the top 5. So he's side by side with Kyle Busch getting into turns 3 and 4, and he's going to take the spot away. Now looking quickly underneath Kurt Busch for fourth. Last lap or so, it looks like we're gaining on Logano a little bit for second. Still side by side for third back there. Nobody can get the advantage on one another. Kyle's trapped in right behind him. So we go for second on Joey Logano. Beating him back to the gas off of turn 2. That gives us an advantage into 3 to the inside. Gonna pull clear. Here he comes, blocking a move down to the bottom. He can't cross us over. Blaney up to second. Already on lap 10 in this stage, as far as the green flag laps are considered. Pretty short race in length, only 301 miles. One of the shorter lengths in mileage on a race over the course of the season. Definitely closing in on Harvick these last few laps as well. But how long will it take for us to get around him? Gonna take a deep dive into turns 3 and 4. Not going to waste much time. Slide job in the middle of the corner. Harvick ducking it back to the inside as we try to pinch him off. And a great job of doing so. Got around him a lot quicker than usual. Blaney back out in front. So we lead our first lap of the final stage. So again, it should be a one pit stop race to the finish. How will the pit stops, though, play out in this final stage is definitely going to be a good question. We're going to catch lap traffic now for the first time in the final stage of the race as we go to the outside to get around Brendan Gaughan. Long run speed of the car finally showing here in this final stage. And we're right back to how we started the race, where me and Harvick are the two best drivers in the field. Harvick probably going to be the guy we're going to have to beat in this one now that he's back up with the track position. In the second spot currently. So we have 8 drivers that are now on the lead lap after Larson got the free pass under the last yellow. 4 cautions total in the race so far, with 2 drivers who have DNF'd in this one. And being Bubba Wallace and I want to say Daniel Suarez might be the other driver. Not entirely sure. See if we can see down the front stretch here who it is. Oh, sorry, no, Brad Keselowski, that's right. So Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, the 2 drivers out of the race. Bubba Wallace was the first driver to DNF. Keselowski was the second. And not much to talk about at this point other than what pit strategy might look like run 87 laps on a full tank of fuel here at New Hampshire. I haven't, obviously, because of the stage length, been able to determine whether we can actually run to that full length or not. I would like to if we can. We have saved the right front tires quite a bit, despite this track being very aggressive, how flat it is on the right front tire. We have done a very good job of conserving that throughout the course of the race today. And we are including the final stage into that statement as well. So we're doing another great job holding these guys off. So if we were to split the stage in half, we would pit right around 76, 75, 76 to go. Which, as far as green flag laps go, because of the caution laps to start the stage, probably looking at about a 75 lap run, which is equivalent to what we ran the first two stages as far as the length goes. Though we did not run that stage to its entirety on the fuel run, I'm very, very certain we can make it on tires. We were pacing ourselves pretty well then. But maybe you see guys try to pit as soon as the pit window opens with about 87 to go. That's definitely possible. You might even see guys try to stretch as far as they can and maybe pit closer to around 55 to 60 laps left, which is likely what I'm going to be shooting for, especially with having a decent sized lead right now. So if we stay green to the end, definitely going to see me try to run as far as I can before I have to hit pit road. If a caution comes out within the last 87 laps of the race, I'll pit then, knowing that I could make it on fuel. But if caution comes out before we reach the end of the pit window, I'll probably still hit pit road anyway, just to put 4 fresh tires on it, because we've already ran over 35 laps on these tires. And I'm sure you would probably see everybody else hit pit road as well. At least the lead lap drivers. You might see guys a lap down, taking the wave around, hoping for another quick yellow. But I would have to imagine that pretty much everybody on the lead lap would hit pit road under the next caution if we do get one. Again, whether that is before or after we hit the pit window. About an 8-second lead on Kevin Harvick currently. Definitely a big lead. It's very comfortable, but only about a third, a little less than a third of the track ahead of him. And Harvick's about another 4.5 seconds ahead of Logano in third. So again, that Ford car is definitely really, really fast. We've led the most laps to this point. There's a reason why Kevin Harvick's led the second most laps. About to catch Kyle Larson. Remember, he had to restart at the rear of the field after getting the free pass under the last, well, under the stage break it ended up being. So we're going to try to put him a lap down. We still got a little bit of a ways before we even catch the 7th place driver. 3 wide now going into turn 3. Larson will go a lap down. Still 115 to go, almost 2/3 of the way through this race. Well past halfway. 10.5 to 11-second lead. Trying to thread it. And Cody Ware made it work there. Now here's Martin Truex Jr., the next closest driver on the lead lap, to put a lap down. Got to go to the outside. He's holding the bottom off the exit of 4. Beating him easily into turn 1. So now only 6 drivers on the lead lap. We are less than 20 laps away from the pit window opening though. Almost got the wall off of turn 2 there. Never had to lift though. And now we get a caution. So the caution does come out before the pit window opens. As expected, it looks like everybody's going to hit pit road. Truex will get the free pass in 7th. So with 112 laps left, we get our 5th caution of the race. Had a decent amount of yells, but not an overly rambunctious amount. 4 fresh tires. Can repair the damage we've got on the car from the beginning of the run. So we're going to have about 108 laps to go when we go green here. Again, about 20 laps outside the pit window. And we lost 2 spots on pit road, so Kevin Harvick wins the race. Here we go. Set for another restart. Green flag back in the air. Trying to take it 3 wide into turn 1. Another good jump here by the 12. Logano again jumps out of line. That time he goes from 4th looking to the inside, but we're able to block him off. But here comes Kyle Busch on the top. Barely clear off of turn 2 as they were 3 wide back there. Logano now clears Harvick. And is still side by side with Kyle Busch. What a move to take the race lead away. So we lead the first lap off the restart. Logano looking to the inside. We are there to block him off for now. He looked strong on the short run last time. He's looking strong this time. Harvick now back up to 3rd, looking to get around him. Harvick going to try the outside, it looks like. Doesn't work because now Kyle Busch is going to try to get under the 4 of Harvick. And here comes Joey. He is there. Side draft now down the backstretch. Logano looking for the lead into 3. Ivan it in a little late. Contact. Up the track we go. Joey Logano to the race lead off of turn 4. The second bump and run pulled off, though that time we kind of came down into him. Unlike the first time, he just kind of barreled it in there. And now we're stuck on the outside as Kyle Busch looking for 2nd. Can't clear us off of turn number 2. Big run coming down the backstretch into 3. Taking a big dive to the inside. A bullseye move to clear the 18 and to get alongside the 22, but we could not clear Logano. He is there. Harvick now going to the outside of Kyle Busch for 3rd. So we drive it in deep again. This time we clear the 22. Blaney back to the lead again. And now Kyle Busch up to second. But he can't quite clear the 22 like I thought he could. And Harvick waiting patiently behind him. Remember, he made a 3 wide pass per second on the last green flag run. On me and Logano before he was able to, or sorry, on me and Kyle Busch before he was able to catch Logano for the race lead. Harvick looks like he's just taking his time for now, though, as he's able to get around Logano for third all by himself. As Kyle Busch still looks for the race lead on us. Busch is definitely there, and he's not going away anytime soon. 200 laps down, 101 laps to go. Busch is there. A little bit of contact up the hill, into the wall. Harvick up to second. Kyle Busch with the bump and run. Another product, same thing that we did on Logano a little bit, accidentally came down just enough trying to pinch him off. Contact was made, but that time we went way up the hill. Couldn't get out of the gas in time, got into the wall, and not only we lost the lead, but we lost second place to Kevin Harvick, and now we got to play catch up. A little bit of damage on the right side of the car. Again, though, it doesn't look like it's too heavy of damage. I don't think it's really going to tighten the car up that much. We didn't hit the wall too hard, thankfully. 99 to go. Harvick now looking for the lead. Off of turn 2, looking to the inside. Harvick, will he try it again into 3? As we try to close in on both of them, Harvick is there. Can he clear Kyle Busch? Not quite. Side by side at the line, I believe Harvick led the lap by inches. Big dive to the inside, 3 wide for the lead now as we're going for it all. Harvick clears for the lead, Busch able to hold on to second barely. And out of the inside of the 18 once again. Can't get around him, and as we race for second, Harvick trying to pull away with the lead. Short track racing at its finest at New Hampshire here this evening. Good setup move through 1 and 2. Now we're going to try to get Busch through 3 and 4, sliding up in front of him, but now he's going to try the crossover. He is there. Now he's on the inside. A block down the front stretch. Complete. Busch looks high. Can't get the run. Backs off going in. We're charging for the leader, Harvick. Alternate through the cameras once again as we have 95 laps to go currently. Sitting right behind the 4 car of Kevin Harvick for the race lead. Pulls us a little bit through turns 1 and 2. Big dive on the exit of the corner. Got back into the gas too soon though, I think. I checked up. I didn't know if I could hold that corner or not. I knew it was going to be close. I didn't want to take the risk of hitting the wall any harder because we already hit the wall once on this run. Don't want to damage that right side up too much. Even though with racing short track style here, aerodynamically it wouldn't make much of a difference, but we go to repair that damage under the next pit stop, it will make that pit stop slower. Oh, brushing the wall again though anyway, the next lap. Barely kissed it. It didn't really cost us much time, really. That's how lightly we hit the wall. We close in on the lap traffic now. Looking to the inside again on Harvick. Into turns 3 and 4, driving it in deep. Side by side. Can't get him that time as we fall in line right behind him. Trying to get whatever draft we can. 92 to go. Back to the inside again. Into turn 1. What a battle. Harvick still able to hold on. Back to the inside again, into turn 3. But now Jamie McMurray's in the way. Harvick going to go to the outside of McMurray. Oh, we got to get to his inside, though. He kind of came up in front of us. Drove it in deep into turn 1 there, trying to catch Harvick. Good run on the exit of the corner. We gained a little bit of ground. Oh, we're kind of pinched here in between the lap traffic. Into the back of the 4. 3 wide. Oh, no, I thought we were 3 wide. With the lap cars, guess not. Clear. Harvick now looking to the bottom. And a game of cat and mouse through the lap traffic. Kyle Busch trying to close in on us as well. Another dive to the inside on the 4. Trying to use DiBenedetto as a pick. All the way to the apron. Harvick looks to go high. Can't do it. He's boxed in. So we'll try to take the lead officially at the start-finish line. Harvick now to the top on DiBenedetto. So we go to the top of Cody Ware. Blaney back to the lead again with 89 to go. Caught right behind David Reagan. Bad spot off the exit of the corner. Try to get him into 3 and 4 as well as Landon Castle. It's going to work. Harvick boxed in behind him as they're side by side. Pit window is now open for anybody that wants to pit early and take the risk. Just don't think it's worth it at this point in the race. If we had a bigger lead, it'd be more tempting, but we're only about a second and a half ahead of the 4 of Harvick. That's not tempting at all. Definitely have to end up going a lap down, maybe 2, probably just 1, but caution comes out, we're trapped a lap down. That would be the last thing we need. Tomorrow at Pocono, though, we'll probably end up trying to split the stages in half in that race, much like we did when we raced there the first time during the season. We only had 1 caution in the first Pocono race. That's the least amount of cautions I've ever had in a full-length Cup race. I think the closest I was to that was in the very first season I did of NASCAR Heat 4 at Watkins Glen. I think we only had 2 cautions in that race. But yeah, only 1 in the last race at Pocono, so... just have to see how that's going to work. Only 5 of them so far here today, though. Although we are having a pretty good run so far. To the outside of Ryan Preece. In the wall! That time we hit the wall kind of heavily. The more we hit the wall, the more tighter the car is getting over the longer portion of this run. Kind of got to back it off and take it easy if we can. Just run with the regular camera now to the end of the race. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but you can kind of see the damage if you look closer to the right front, because you can kind of see the hood has popped up just a little bit. Take a better look at it here. Yeah, you kind of see the little bit of damage more towards the right front of the race car. Gonna be probably, if I had to guess, 2 seconds of damage. Doesn't look too terrible though. Harvick's definitely hung with us a lot better on the long run this time around than any other run over the course of this race. Of course, if we do end up having to pit under green, assuming we can make it the final 108 laps of this race under green, got to make sure we don't speed. Barely squeezing ahead of Truex, almost got in the wall, and Truex will go a lap down once again. So right back to where we were before the last caution came out, only 6 drivers on the lead lap. All the way on the apron, trying to get around Newman. A little contact with the 6, couldn't clear him off the turn 2. Harvick not really pulling away from Kyle Busch like he was earlier, though. Kyle's hanging around about 6.5 to 7 seconds off the lead himself. So we have about a 5-second lead on Kevin Harvick. Some of that might be the damage on the right side of our car, making it just a little bit tighter on this run too. Not the largest lead of the race so far, but probably about the second or third largest lead of the race. One of the longer green flag runs we've had, even though we're not terribly long into it. Again, we went green with 108 laps to go. We currently have 75 laps left in the race. Going to be closing in on the 2-hour mark here in about 10 to 15 minutes for this race. Race should be less than 2.5 hours in length, so again, pretty quick one compared to some of these longer races. The quickest race we have had so far this season in elapsed time was the Coke 0400 at Daytona a couple nights ago, as that race was only 1 hour and 52 minutes. in total length. That race flew by. The longest race we've had was the Coke 600 at Charlotte. I believe we ran that middle of the week, not this week, but the week prior. And that race took 3 hours and 19 minutes. Ten-second lead, of course. We'll have to decide when to pit exactly. We could split the stage in half. I don't think that would be a terrible idea by any means. Quite honestly, I think there's a good chance we're going to end up doing that. Split it in half from the time we went green anyway, if we make it to that point. We have 71 to go now. We had 108 laps left when we went green, so to split it in half, we've got to make it to 56 laps to go in the race. So that's when we're going to plan on hitting pit road, is 56 laps to go, or coming to 56 to go. It's going to be our strategy instead of just trying to take it as long as we can. So we got about 15 laps, a little less than 15 laps away from our green flag pit stop here. Now again, we have not made a green flag stop today, so we got to make sure that when we get onto pit road, we do not speed and hope for a somewhat quick stop. We don't need an extremely quick stop, because again, when we come out of the pits, we'll be faster than everybody else with the 4 fresh Goodyears, and we'll go in with a pretty good sized lead on Harvick. Tyler Reddick off, making sure we have him clear before we get into turn 1. Didn't want him to take any sort of shot at us to the inside in this next corner. Kind of forgot we had a little bit of front bumper damage as well. Top of the right side damage. Oh man, that got tight all of a sudden. 3 wide to the outside of Daniel Suarez and Matt Tifft. So you can tell Harvick just got through a lot of heavy lap traffic, so that may be part of why we did open the gap up quite a bit. We haven't caught that heavy lap traffic yet. And I'm not talking about those 4 cars in front of us, I'm talking about the huge pack of lap cars just entering turn 3 now. And then some. You can see on the track map on the lower left of your screen just how many cars there are packed in there of the 38 that are still on the racetrack. See Alex Bowman way up in there. Or sorry, Kyle Larson. I don't know why I said Bowman. Don't see Bowman quite yet. Larson's the next driver on the lead lap, I believe, that we have to catch. Or no, Larson's the first driver 1 lap down. He's in 8th right now, that's right. Here's Almirola in 9th. Oh, I thought he was going to squeeze it up the middle there for a second in between me and Brendan Gaughan, but he didn't quite do that. So Larson will go 2 laps down in the 8th position now. Yeah, it definitely has been a clean race for us so far, Joshua. We've had a couple run-ins. It seems like whenever we were in the lead, there was a couple bump and runs there, but really haven't hit the wall many times. Maybe like 2 or 3 times this entire race, 2 of which happened to be on this run, but yeah, it's not too bad of a race on my behalf, and I think I usually pride myself on running a pretty clean race. I mean, if it gets in the very, very late stages, you know, and I know that's my only shot of winning the race is trying to make a bump and run or something of that nature, I'll do it, but yeah, for the most part, I usually try to race clean. Kurt Busch in 6th, Alex Bowman in 5th, not too much further ahead of us. Got about a 20.5 second lead on Kevin Harvick right now. Now looking to the outside of Bowman to put him a lap down at 5th. We're a couple laps away from hitting pit road for our scheduled pit stop. And we could take another 38 laps if we wanted to, but gotta play it safe. It doesn't feel like we're burning the tires a little bit more out this run than what we have compared to earlier in the race, but again, that's okay. We were gonna split the stage in half from when we had our last caution anyway. Our longest green flag run of the race so far was back in stage 1, and it was the very start of the race when we went the opening 58 laps without a caution. We are closing very, very close to that mark right now. So we're about to catch Joey Logano in 4th, all the way to the top here and try and put him a lap down. Clearing him, Austin Dillon, and now McDowell down the front stretch here. 57 to go. We're going to pit this time by. 3 drivers on the lead lap. We're going to hit our pit window right at halfway from the drop of the last green flag. Got 56 laps on our tires right now. I think it's a good time to hit pit road. Again, just got to make sure we don't speed. 30-second penalty if you speed. There's the commitment line, and easily. What? No! Oh my good! Are you kidding me? I thought we hit pit road at, was it 35 or 45? I thought it was 45 miles an hour, not. Well, 1 can will be enough. Blaney caught speeding on pit road. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I thought the speed limit was 45. I wasn't paying attention to what it was actually giving me, because I thought it was 45. We hit 46, but usually if you're like in the process of slowing it down, you're within that 5-mile-an-hour range, it won't count you as speeding. And we were pretty steady getting onto pit road. Wow. Well, it's a good thing we had a big lead. The downside is with speeding on pit road, wow, we're luckily still on the lead lap. We are so lucky we had a big lead. We got fresher tires than everybody else now. I think we're going to be okay. It definitely could have been worse. If it was 45 and we were speeding by 1 mile an hour, I'm surprised he gave us that penalty, because he usually doesn't. Right when we were talking about me having a clean race so far, the only mistake we made was speeding onto pit road. That's crazy. At least we didn't get caught a lap down. At least we were barely able to hold on to the lead lap. Now we're pulling back away from Harvick. So Kevin Harvick currently leads. He'll have 53 laps to go at the line. Now again, the leaders can run laps to go in the race before they have to pit if they wanted to run as far as they can. They can go to about 20 laps to go. So if they go that far hoping for a caution, that's probably their best opportunity to stay in this thing. We'll just have to see. We'll write it out for now. Definitely got to push it as hard as we can, because whenever they decide to come onto pit road, they're going to have fresher tires than us, and that is where the pit road speeding penalty is going to hurt us. Is where, yeah, we'll probably cycle back through as the leader, and we will probably have a 10 to 15 second lead, but if they have 30 lap fresher tires on us, and we only have about a 10-15 second lead, I just don't know if that's enough. Good news is we would only have 20 laps to go, and New Hampshire is only 1 mile racetrack, so that would help us, but it won't be easy to try to hold them off. Really hoping that doesn't come back to bite us. Honestly, if a caution comes out and resets the field because we're on the lead lap, the penalty's not going to hurt us at all, because we'll still be on the lead lap, and we'll probably end up having to pit again anyway to make sure we have equal tires as the leaders for that final run. $50 laps to go at the line here at New Hampshire. At least for us. Harvick's coming off of turn 4 right now. He'll have 49 laps left as the leader when he gets to the line. But assuming we stay green to the end and we cycle back through, we'll be back in the lead eventually. So, oh, a little contact with Corey LaJoy. Gives us a little bit of front bumper damage once again. Although New Hampshire might act like a very tight racetrack with it being 1 mile in length, I think having a little bit wider grooves in the corners despite being a flat track does help with being able to, I guess, keep clean of cars, but because of how difficult it is to pass, that's why you see a lot of bump and runs around in this place. It really does race like a short track. They don't necessarily consider it a short track in NASCAR because it is 1 mile in length. They don't really consider anything a mile or longer a short track, but this really is a short track. I mean, the speed's even in the corner kind of telling of it. We hit about 160, but then we really have to drop it down close to about 90 miles an hour or so when we enter into the corners to get the car to rotate. So 5th place Alex Bowman, about 3 seconds ahead of us. He's got very heavy lap traffic around him. Kurt Busch only another 2.5 seconds ahead of Alex Bowman. Ooh, little brush off the wall there. Didn't hurt us too much. It's not showing that we're yellow on the indication on the right side of the car, so that's good. Alright, Alex Bowman should catch him, pass him pretty quickly. We'll look to the inside into turn 3. This will move us back into the top 5. Harvick's still about a half a track ahead of us despite the fact we're in 5th. Must be pulling away from Kyle Busch in this lap traffic again. So definitely the longest green flag run of the race to this point. Currently a 65 lap green flag run, or longest before that was 58. Start the race. Can we go the final 108 laps under green? 5 cautions in the race, not a lot. Here's Kurt Busch just in front of us now. Being held up. Oh, now, oh, man. Kurt Busch went to duck underneath the double zero and tried to go way down to miss him. Got loose in the middle of the straightaway doing it. Kurt Busch able to hold on for 4th. That could have been a nasty hit into the inside wall. Luckily, we didn't hit it much. And now we have gotten right around Kurt Busch. Up to 4th. Still 13 seconds off the lead with 41 to go. But again, the leaders have to pit. Just staying out, hoping for a caution. And you know that they've ran this far. They're going to run it until they can't. So they could still run roughly another 20 laps before they would have to pit. I'm just hoping it stays green to the end. That's going to be our best shot of winning, I believe. Not have to worry about another restart. Ooh, Logano looks like he might have got into David Reagan. Getting into the corner, trying to take it 3 wide to the top as we split down to the bottom. Can't clear the 22 yet, but now we will going into turn 3. Blaney up to 3rd. Currently the highest running Ford and the highest, or sorry, not the highest running Ford, but the highest running Penske driver. Harvick, of course, running in the Ford Mustang. He's in the lead. Yeah, and he's got about a 5-second advantage or so on Kyle Busch. About a 10-second advantage on us. But again, even if we take the lead from Harvick, as long as that caution comes out before he hits pit road, he'll be on the lead lap. It'll bunch the field right back up again for another restart. The restarts weren't crazy at the beginning of the race, but they got crazy pretty much at the start of about midway through stage 2 after we hit about that 3rd caution or so in the race, and they've been crazy ever since. Oh boy, right up the middle. Took it 3 wide there. Kyle Busch now only 2 seconds ahead of us. Maybe catch him in a lap to lap and a half. Maybe sooner, depending on how much the lap traffic slows him down right here. And speaking of lap traffic, Kevin Harvick in a huge mess with it. Coming off of turn 2 right now. Not quite within sight of Harvick yet. Still 5.5 seconds off the lead, but we're catching him pretty quick. Even Busch is running him down just a hair. Ooh, Kyle about made it. Yep, 3 wide. Gonna try to follow him up through here, pinching him to the inside. Blaney up to 2nd, 35 to go. 4.5 seconds back of Harvick, the race leader. Harvick seemingly getting through that lap traffic up ahead pretty well, though. All the way to the bottom, another 3 wide moment. Barely able to get underneath Daniel Suarez there, and here we go again. Three seconds back of Kevin Harvick. Trying to run him down, almost got the side of the 95, had to get out of the gas. You can see only one lap car currently in between me and Harvick. It's Ryan Preece, and then a huge pack of lap cars about a half second to a second ahead of Kevin. There are now no lap cars in between us for the moment. At least not yet. I would assume we probably have a couple more lap cars to pass before we get to Kevin. Still 2 seconds off the lead. He's got a few lap cars in front of us. I'm sure he can get around a couple before we get to him. Yeah, he's going to get around Cody Ware. He's got Landon Castle, Austin Dillon just in front of him, Matt Tift right after that. And then one of the faster lap cars, Eric Jones. I don't know if he can get to Jones before we catch him, though. Within a second of the lead for the first time in a little while. About 20 to 25 laps of this current tire run that we are on. Going for the lead into turn 3. Harvick goes to the top of Austin Dillon. 3 wide as we try to split the 3. Very tight on the bottom of the track. Holding the line. Here we go. Still no contact made. Harvick leads the lap at the line as he tries to hold on. Using the lap car. Tipped as a pick. Clearing Harvick off of turn number 2 easily. Ryan Blaney back to the lead again. We'll have 29 laps to go at the line. Now, can we stay green to the finish? Everybody still has to pit, but if we get a caution, pit strategy goes out the window. Everybody will hit pit road under the caution. We'll have a last little dash to the finish. I mean, there's no debating. We'd have to pit. I know we're in the lead, but we know everybody else is going to have to pit because they haven't yet. Goes to show that pit road speeding penalty is really not going to matter. That we had earlier on when we made that lone green flag pit stop in this stage. So again, I got a couple announcements at the end of this race today. As far as a new series I want to start in the channel that will help a lot of the newer subscribers out that like to watch the streams but have missed full race live streams in the past. Again, more on that coming up right after the finish of this one. I guess the only other announcement I can make right now is the start time for the next full race live stream. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will run the full Cup Series race at Pocono, the second Cup race that we are going to make there on the season. Again, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the start time for that one at 7 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Central a.m. So hopefully you guys will join for that one, a little earlier start time so I can make sure I can squeeze that stream in for you guys tomorrow. So again, we're pulling away, 5.5 second lead. Leaders that have not pitted yet, just trying to run it out as long as they can. They can make it 87 laps on a full tank of fuel. We went green with 108 to go. So they are very, very close to their pit window here. They're probably going to have to pit. I mean, I'm going to guess that the longest they can run at the longest is right about 20 to go. So They're going to have to pit here within the next few laps, and if we don't get a caution, it looks like we've got this race locked up. Again, those guys are going to be faster than me when they hit pit road because they're going to have about 30 laps. Whoa, man. A little contact there with the 96 off of turn 2. About clipped ourselves into the wall. Thought we had him clear, but we didn't. But yeah, they're going to be faster than us, but they're going to be quite a ways behind. They're easily going to be a lap down, I would have to imagine. Harvick staying out again. Heck, he might run until it's dry if he has to. Got some cars hitting pit road. Logano's down there. Harvick trying to stretch it as long as he can right now. 21 to go at the line. Kyle Busch also hit pit road that last time. And now, oh man, Bowman checked up big time there. Harvick's on pit road. He needs a caution before we catch him. Bowman's going to go a lap down. I would assume he wants to pit. He's stuck on the outside of Hemrick. He cannot get onto pit road right now. So Bowman will have to stay out another lap. Kurt Busch just hit pit road. Bowman might run out of fuel. Again, he was not able to hit pit road that time as now the leaders are coming off. Bowman's out of, yeah, well, he's really slow, but no, I think he's going to be able to coast it onto pit road. 19 laps to go, so Alex Bowman's on pit road, the last of the leaders to pit. So when they cycle back through, Harvick should get back up to second. Now, I guess they could still get a caution because Harvick will get the free pass. And I would still have about 30 lap older tires than him. But he would have to restart at the rear of the field. Not impossible if he's got enough laps, but I did not think we were going to go. I mean, you knew it was a possibility that we can go the final 108 laps under green, but in all reality, the way most of these races go, it just doesn't seem that way. And this really does remind me of that first Pocono race, even though we only had one caution in that race and we had 5 of them here today. It just reminds me of that long green flag run to the end of the race, where pit strategy did matter. And it definitely mattered today. And you can even see how fast Tyler Reddick is on 4 fresh Goodyears, as he's probably going to be a pain to pass here to the end of this race. Jimmy Johnson just coming out of the pits. He's trying to get up to speed, so we'll get around Jimmy. Gonna try to shoot the gap here to the inside on Reddick. Ooh. Almost got in the wall. Reddick gonna try to get right back around us again. 15 to go. Yeah, again, just kind of struggling to get around Reddick. Michael McDowell behind us. I mean, literally everybody's on fresher tires than what we are right now. We were the only guy to try to split the final tire stent in half. So we pit with 56 to go. 35 lap pressure tires. We have a big enough lead that we can coast. We're just hoping that we stay green at this point. 13 laps left. Well over the 2-hour mark here in this one. Since the drop of the green flag, it was roughly about 4:50 or so, a little bit later than what I wanted. But we will start right on time for sure tomorrow, I can guarantee it. Alright, so Klickerman's slow enough. We were able to get around both him and Reddick on the outside, kind of using the 96 as a pick. Pull away from Reddick a little bit. We'll have to see if he'll try to run us back down here at all soon. $11 to go. $10 to go. Eight laps to go at this point here. Splitting the pit strategy in half, even with the pit road speeding penalty. Didn't cost us much. We gained so much time for those 35 laps that we had the fresher tires. Again, thanks for everybody joining at the end of the stream. Before you decide to leave, looking at how big of a lead we have, I do have an announcement coming up at the end of this stream as far as a another, I guess, new addition to the channel that we're going to be having. Another series that I hope you guys are going to enjoy, especially if you are new subscribers or even if you've missed races, these full-length races in the past. Five laps left. It's coasting into the finish. Kind of a weaker finish to this race. Not a lot of drama. Looked like we could have had drama after that pit road speeding penalty, but it ended up not being much of a factor in this one after all. Oh man. Newman being Newman there through 3 and 4. Almost couldn't clear him. He was trying to hold back the 19 as well, even though those two weren't even racing for position. So if caution comes out, we do go to overtime at this point. We do have 4 laps left. Lap 298 of 301 currently. But I mean, at this point, you would need back-to-back cautions, which wouldn't be impossible. Cautions breed cautions, especially when we go to overtimes. But one caution, I don't think is going to be good enough for Harvick to get back. Again, he's got 35 lap pressure tires, and he has caught us a little bit. But he'd have to drive from the rear of the field all the way to the front. I just don't see that happening in 2 laps. I mean, I could see, honestly, even if we have a bad restart, I could see like 10 cars getting around us, but Harvick being that far back, it's just not going to happen. So 2 to go now. We did start at the rear of the field here today. Had a good run to this point. Clean race overall, though. Never gotten an accident ourselves. Never even caused an accident today. Incident free for our half, our part of the race. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go here at New Hampshire. We're actually going to do it. We're going to run the final 108 laps of this race under green. 5 cautions total in this one. Only 2 drivers of the 40 that started DNF'd, and being Bubba Wallace finishing dead last in 40th. 39th will be our teammate Brad Keselowski. Off of 4, checkered flag in the air. Ryan Blaney wins at New Hampshire in the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301. There we go. Use the wall to help support us a little bit. And the engine has blown to end the victory burnout here in this one. Wow. One of the more dominant finishes we've had to a race all season by far. You take a look at your top 10. Ryan Blaney gets the win at 2 hours and 26 minutes from the start of the race. Kevin Harvick second. He was definitely by far the second fastest car in the field today, and the guy we had to beat for the win. Kyle Busch third. Joey Logano fourth. Kurt Busch fifth. Alex Bowman sixth. Eric Almirola sneaks into the top 10, finishing seventh. Denny Hamlin 8th, Eric Jones 9th, and Kyle Larson rounds out the top 10 here in this one. Again, a giant points lead. It looks like we got the regular season almost in hand for the most part, unless something crazy happens in these next couple races. Because Matt DiBenedetto's 19th and won the race at Martinsville, he is still going to make it to the playoffs. So Eric Almirola is the last guy in on points. And with him having a top 10 finish and Jimmy Johnson not having a great race at all, he pulled away from a 7-point lead to a 30-point lead going into the next race at Pocono tomorrow. Again, that will be starting 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for that full race live stream.